Welcome to Cardiff Met Sport TV Radio. I'm Charlotte Carver and here's the sport news for today. First up, the football. Cardiff Met Uni FC beat Haverfordwest FC 3-2 at the weekend. Met goals coming from Harry Owen, Elliot Evans and Lewis Rees. They face local rivals Barry Town United away at Jenner Park tonight. Meanwhile, Cardiff Met Uni women are preparing for their big game against Cardiff City women at the Cardiff City Stadium on Saturday. Met are currently sat in second with City just one place behind. Some former Archers featured in Wales' second-half comeback against Scotland in the TikTok Six Nations fixture this weekend. They came back to win the game 24-19. Wales now face England. 6 of the 8 players selected for the Wales basketball 3-on-3 qualifying team for the Commonwealth Games are from the Archers Basketball Club. Ellie Andam and James Dorr have made the men's team, whilst Isabel Bunyan, Kim Keng, Caris Roy and Laura Shanahan have made the cut for the women's. The Welsh Fire squad for the 100 has been announced this afternoon. Welsh Fire have brought in Joe Clark, Naseem Shah and Adam Zampa. This year is the first year the competition has run where Sapphire Gardens can have a full capacity crowd. And of course, Manchester City and Liverpool are playing the Champions League tonight. However, the real buzz on King Court campus today is excitement for Varsity against Bath Uni tomorrow. Over to you, Atticus, to tell us a little bit more.
Hello everyone, welcome into our Cardiff Met Sport TV radio studio. Bit of a misnomer, I don't really know how we get TV radio here, but that's okay, that's part of the fun. Welcome in for our varsity chat, our varsity preview show ahead of tomorrow's varsity match for Cardiff Met against Bath University. We've got a lot of events on offer tomorrow. Today we're focusing on 3 as part of our show. First, basketball, second, football, and third, netball, and most importantly, fourth, the unannounced mascot race. We're going to give you prop bets, lines, everything you need to know about the mascot race between Cardiff Met's Archie the Dragon and Banyo Mala the Duck from Bath University. So welcome in again. I'm Atticus P. Joining me today, Charlotte Carver, Nesta Unwin, and Ben Cosgrove. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for having me, or thanks for joining me here this afternoon, rather.
Hello. Hi.
Hello, Atticus.
Quite the panel. We're excited to do this here today with you. Now, first of all, before we get started on the actual games that we have coming up, looking forward to, I'm hoping, the first ever Archer win in varsity. We had no idea of that before today, so this is going to be a big preview show about how the Archers are going to win their first ever varsity day in 5 years, I believe, everybody. So first, before we get to there, let's take a look inside. What goes into getting the varsity day ready to go? We caught up with Danielle Morgan, an elusive interview. She's never actually interviewed with Cardiff Met Sport TV before. So we've got an interview with her. Take a look and see what it takes to get the Archer squads ready for varsity day against Bath. So we're here with Danielle Morgan. You've got a day to go until varsity tomorrow. How tough is planning all of this for you? When we walked in here, there's boxes everywhere, there's banners, there's shirts everywhere. How difficult is this event to plan for you?
I mean, we've got to get 1,000 people to Bath in probably one piece and get them back. So that'll be our biggest challenge. But ultimately, you know, it's a fantastic event and it's great to have it back. And obviously the students are buzzing for the big day tomorrow. So we're excited.
Fair enough. Now, this is one of the biggest days of the year for the SU to plan, correct?
It is, yes, one of the biggest ones.
If you had to rank them, how big on the list would this one be?
I mean, I guess it's slightly smaller because we're away. Obviously, home varsity is much, much bigger for us. But it's up there with sports awards. Obviously, that's in a couple of weeks as well. So term 2 is always quite busy for us, yeah.
Now, when we walked into the room here where you took us to, this conference room, you showed us this banner. It's face down at the moment. Hopefully no Bath students or staff hear this. But the banner's face down. You guys have already got it planned, Bath winners. But there's no date on it, no.
Well, yes, the banner says Varsity Champions. Unfortunately, we haven't quite managed to use this banner yet, but we're hopeful for tomorrow being the first time. So, yeah, it's all ready. We're going to pack it up in the bus and take it up to Bathurst tomorrow.
Now, when you say take it up with you, you're going to take it to the university, of course. Let's be honest. When Cardiff Met wins, where are you planning to display this?
I believe it'll be displayed at the final game, which will be the men's football game. So, yeah, the big finale. So that's when you get presented with the trophy.
So because of that football game being the last one, I'm assuming everybody in the SU goes there. They're all going to be part of that, watching hopefully the trophy presentation too, yeah?
Yeah, so we've got a minibus of staff going up to kind of help with the day. And yeah, same as the students, we'll all sort of congregate to that last game and hopefully see an Archer win.
How many of the SU staff need to go to make this one work on an away day at Bath?
I mean, we all love the jolly as well, I guess. So there's, I think there's probably about 12 of us that are heading up from the SU, so it'll be all hands on deck and obviously helping our colleagues in Bath whatever they need. So.
Now, for you specifically, where are you going to be on that day? I'm assuming you bounce around being the leader of all this. You're bouncing everywhere. Where are you going specifically?
So myself and Kate will probably bounce about, just try and see as much of the action as we can. I don't know really, there's no real set plan yet. But yeah, there'll be some good matchups. You know, men's basketball against Bath, they play them in their Bucks League, so that's always a good game. And I remember that one home, that atmosphere in the Archers Arena was absolutely crazy. So excited to maybe see that one. There's a couple other games that we'll pop along to and show our face.
Fair enough. Well, Danielle, final thoughts ahead of tomorrow. What are you most excited for? I know you just mentioned a couple of games. What are you most looking forward to, though, to being part of this event?
Hopefully an Archer win, first one, right? That's the plan. That's what we're most excited for, really. And I guess just to see all the students enjoying having varsity back.
Now, before we finish, you just said something interesting. First Archer victory. What does that mean? The Archers have not won a varsity day before. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, sadly not. No, we haven't quite managed to win varsity yet. So that's what I mean. This banner hasn't been used.
Oh, my goodness.
So it could be a big first Archer win. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We have the victory banner prepared. All you got to do is go out and win your games, and you're ready to go. Danielle, thank you for your time today. We're excited to see you there tomorrow.
Thank you very much. See you guys tomorrow.
Welcome back to the studio. Thank you to Danielle Morgan and the entire student union for putting this event together and for letting us catch up with her earlier today. I'm pleased to report, I promise you, this is a very big banner. Now, unfortunately, there's no date listed on it. I was hoping they'd have a date of April 6th put on that banner. Just a nice little vote of confidence in the Cardiff Met teams, but not quite. It's just a generic one, but that's okay. We're hopefully going to see that tomorrow for the first time used. Now, Ben Cosgrove joining me here. What event are you most looking forward to tomorrow? We've got 13 games. What most catches your eye?
Well, it's got to be the football, hasn't it? I mean, the team haven't had a very good season altogether, but they've got the last game of the day of everyone. Everyone will be watching. And obviously it'll decide who wins varsity overall, so it'll be all eyes on the football, won't it?
5:30 p.m., that game. Again, like you said, Ben, that's the highlight of the day. We're excited for that one. Everything leads back to the football pitch tomorrow, at least, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, Nesta, thank you for joining us. What are you most looking forward to tomorrow?
I think I'm a little bit biased because I've been working with the netball, but I have to say the netball. It's going to be a good close game, I think, and I think Cardiff Met are absolutely gunning for them this year because they've never won against Bath at netball in varsity.
What time is the netball game tomorrow?
5 o'clock in the sports hall, and it looks like a bit of rain, so hopefully there'll be quite a big crowd in there.
Everyone who gets rained out from the football can go over there to the netball. That's what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Good, I like that. Now, Charlotte, what event are you most looking forward to tomorrow?
I'd say football as well because it's going to be a very interesting match. I have no idea who's going to win, but I think in between stuff, I'm also going to be at the hockey for both games. That's going to be interesting. But I would quite like to go and look at some of the sports. I know they've got weightlifting, which might be quite interesting to watch. Also water polo, I think it's going to be quite a good game. Yeah, hopefully I'll get time to go and have a look at a lot of things.
We've got plenty of events tomorrow. There's plenty for everyone to take part of. What we're going to do is part of our team here. All 4 of us are going to be on campus along with everything else as part of our cohort. We're all going to be covering every single event, coming back with a final recap show on Thursday, April 7th to show you everything that happened. But for today, of course, we're previewing what's going to happen as we get ahead to these games. Now, speaking of previews, we've mentioned the games we're most looking forward to. And of course, there's lots of games going on, all of them going to count towards the overall total for who's going to win this varsity matchup. But I'd say the most important one is Archie the Dragon against Banyo Mala the Duck. Let's go a little more in depth here, ladies and gentlemen. Who's going to win the mascot race, the first ever between the Dragon and the Duck? Nesta, opening thoughts.
Or I've got to go with the Dragon. I have to. Cardiff Met, gonna win.
So you're taking the Dragon out of bias?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But in any way, a dragon versus a duck, I think it's a no-brainer. You got to go for the dragon.
Now, those who have not seen these two mascots, take 2 seconds out of your day, go look them up. Archie the Dragon on social media. Cardiff Met Student Union social media has plenty of pictures of him. It's this nice, big, bulky, baby blue uniform. Very nice, lots of little scales and a big tail thing. But then there's Banyo Mala the Duck. Ben, describe us this duck. What does he look like?
Well, he looks like a duck. He's got a very big head. But listen, if you're going to ask me who's going to win this race, you got to look at the scale of the mascots. He just looks like a man with a duck's head. That is easy to run in. I'm going to tell you right now, I would put my money on the duck. 100%.
Okay, so we've got 1-1 here. Nesta, bias, says the Dragon. Cardiff Met support. Ben, a little more unbiased, taking the route of which uniform is better for the event. Charlotte, we haven't heard from you yet.
I mean, I'd quite like to have some close analysis of the footwear of these mascots because I feel like if the Dragon has got some big bulky what, the dragon have claws?
He does have claws, yes.
Well, I think that's going to be quite hard to run in. Also, I think a lot of it's going to come down to who really is the mascot, who is the person inside. And that's going to be a big contender.
That's an interesting point to bring up, ladies and gentlemen. We may have some inside information on this. There's no actual betting on this event, fortunately, so this won't be seen as insider trading. But I think we've come up with some good odds, some good prop bets for this event, if you will. So I think our opening line that we've set, with about 3-1 odds for Archie the Dragon to win, -150 for Banyo Mala. He's clearly the favorite. I think because of what you just said, both Ben and Charlotte. The duck has better feet. The duck's feet are easier to run in. Weird as that sounds, they're better than the strong claws of the dragon. I'll give it that much. But also, the costume is less bulky. So pretty good odds, I think, for the duck. Bad odds for the Archie the Dragon. But Ben, who would you put money on? I know you said the duck. How much money?
Well, I wouldn't go over a tenner, but I would put a tenner on it. I'm quite confident in this duck, man. But again, the dragon, he could be some aggressive character. He could make it a bit physical in there halfway through the race. So, yeah, I'm going with the duck. I'm telling you.
Fair enough. Now, Nesta, one of the things you have in your favor is the inside information that I mentioned earlier. We hear the normal mascot for the dragon may be replaced with an Olympic sprinter.
Well, we got to hope. Got to hope.
But what if the person who's already the mascot can run? What does it matter? Are there any rules against this? Do we know?
I don't think there's any rules. No one knows who's underneath it, so no one's going to know if they've changed.
Fair enough. I think we'd say +150 are the odds.
Yeah.
That Archie the Dragon is replaced by an Olympic sprinter?
I mean, we've got plenty to go around.
I was
here
going to say,
at
we've
Cardiff
got
Met,
the talent.
I think if you're going to put money on any part of this race, I think that's the part you put it on. On Archie the Dragon being replaced by an Olympic athlete or some great sprinter here. Again, like you guys mentioned, we're 10 feet away from the indoor track here at Cardiff Met. There's plenty of people to go around who could do this. I wonder who takes it. We'll see. Now, when we come away towards the end of this, Charlotte, one of, I think, the most important parts of this, does somebody win this by 2 meters or more? Because this is going to be a tough race. It's only 100 meters, so we hear. We're not totally sure yet. But if it's an 100-meter race, are these two neck and neck at the end or no?
No. Thinking about the balance of the dragon costume, I could see someone falling over, to be honest. So if this duck is light, fast, I'm sorry, Archie the Dragon, but I don't know if you're going to even make it to the finish line.
So Archie the Dragon, if you're out there listening, either the Olympic sprinter who's going to take over the spot or whomever you may be, please, you do not have a lot of support here at home. It's time to prove everybody wrong. Take us away. Take us to the promised land. This could be the event that takes Cardiff Met on top for Varsity Day. Well, enough about the Dragon and the Duck. Next, we're going to go over to our football preview. Ben and I sat down with Jack Neal earlier, the captain for the side that's leading up against Bath's varsity football squad tomorrow. Take a look. Let's listen to hear what he has to say ahead of this game. All right, Jack, thank you for joining us today. I know we're excited for the varsity match tomorrow. You're playing in that match, right?
Yeah, captain in the side as well, so it's a pleasure to be involved.
Awesome. Is this your first time captaining the team?
No, I've captained the reserve side throughout the season. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the opportunity to do it and obviously lead the boys out, and hopefully we'll go and put on a good performance.
Awesome. Now, I know Bath's already beaten you guys twice in the Bucks season this year. Does that make any difference for varsity tomorrow, a little extra motivation or anything like that?
I think it adds a little extra motivation, yeah. I think we'll be looking to get one back on them. I think that when we look back on the two performances, I think both sides, obviously, I think we could have, I played in both of them as well, but I think we could have got a result in both of them. I think we were slightly unlucky, but 100% it adds motivation to go and, prove some people wrong that we can go there and get a result.
Yeah. Now, I know you guys do have the relegation playoffs coming up as well for the Bucks team in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. Not just this match tomorrow in varsity. Does that mean the squad's affected at all by that? Not just mentally, but also in the players you bring. Are you guys bringing the best squad you can to varsity?
I think mentally it brings an aspect into it. I think obviously focus from certain people higher up might be elsewhere, but I certainly think for us third years that are involved, I know this has been a main event that we've been looking forward to ever since first year. I know within the football group, I think everyone understands like the magic moment of Swindlehurst, which was a couple of years ago. But I think definitely for us third years, the full focus is on this, and I think we've taken a strong squad, and we're happy with the squad we're taking.
Perfect. Now, when you talk about the magic moments, of course, what magic moment are you hoping you get tomorrow? What are you looking for? This is your last ever varsity game you're going to get. What are you looking to bring tomorrow?
Obviously, we're the last kick-off of the day as well. I think we're the main event at 5:30, so I think it could come down to us, potentially, to win it. And I think in the whole of Cardiff Met, I think we're the squad I'd want on that. I think we've got more than just the ability to play. I think we've got heart about us as a squad. I think a lot of us have played together now. We understand each other. I think we just want to go out there, put on a performance, and then obviously have a big celebration afterwards.
Awesome.
Cool. I guess I was just going to ask about Varsity. Obviously, you've covered it already a bit. You've lost to Bath twice this year. Is it a rivalry between you and Bath? Like, did you feel it during the season?
A rivalry, not so much. I think Varsity adds an aspect to making it a rivalry, but for us it wasn't. We didn't go there sort of as looking at them as a derby match, but obviously now Varsity, of course we want to go and win, and of course we want to go and prove that we can go there and beat them. Obviously, if it was to make it 3 losses, it would be, pretty bad, but I really do believe we can go there and turn it around.
Well, Jack, thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow and in the relegation playoffs.
Cheers. It's been a pleasure.
Welcome back to the studio now. Atticus P, joined here by Ben Cosgrove. Ben, let's set the scene a little for this game. Yep. But most importantly, something that Jack said, I think, caught our eye after that interview. He said out of the whole of Cardiff Met, of anyone who could win Varsity Day tomorrow for them, he wanted that squad. It's been a tough season for them. That's an interesting comment to make.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, he knows them better than we do, and he's the captain. Something else interesting that he said that might be linked to that is the fact that there's only 3 players who have played in their 3rd year now. So it's a really young squad. There's not much experience, but they're clearly really hungry. And that might be another part of why they've not exactly had the best season longitudinally. There's a lack of experience in there. But for a varsity game, I think that's really useful to have a young squad, hungry squad.
Interesting to mention that because you and I both covered their last game here at home against Bath. For those who don't know, Cardiff Met lost to Bath both times this season, 1-0 at home and 1-0 on the road. That game against Bath at home, they seemed to be outclassed for most of the game. They weren't really in it, tried at the end, but honestly just only had a couple of good shots, just not much throughout the entire day. So when we talk about this youth, there have been 6 months between this game and that one. That was back in October. How much is that time, you think, going to change this team, even though they have only played a couple of games in that length of time, those 6 months between then and now?
Yeah, there's been a big gap, and obviously there's not going to be much confidence in the team right now. They've played Bath twice this year. They've not even managed to score against them in either game. So obviously they'll be going into this one really looking to avoid an embarrassment, really. It will be 3 games, 3 losses at Bath,
Yeah, no, definitely so. And the one of the things that's most important about this is, you heard Jack mention this, we've got relegation playoffs coming up for the Bucks squad, as well as this varsity game. So not only do you have this rivalry match tomorrow, something that he as the captain mentioned he's clearly ready to go for, but also you've got the relegation playoffs. A week after they'll play against East London on the road, and then at the start of May 4th, they'll play UWE Bristol at home. So Ben, just take it from your perspective. Varsity is an important day, of course, but the relegation playoffs are probably more important, objectively so. How do you think you prioritize the teams here?
Well, it'll be interesting to see how they do it. Obviously, the priority has to be avoiding relegation for the next season. Obviously, a lot of them are young, so they will be playing next year, so it's going to affect them. But obviously, varsity, the whole event of it and the occasion is going to feel bigger with the atmosphere. And obviously, being away, it's going to be against them, I think. Obviously, but I think the priority has to focus on relegation, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did put out full strength, same team for both games.
Now, one other thing as well, Ben, the Archer squad had 2 wins, 2 draws, and 6 losses throughout their Bucks campaign, only scored 8 goals, just a real struggle throughout. How are they going to score goals against this Bath team? You mentioned they couldn't before. What makes you confident they can do it this 3rd time?
It's just the occasion. It's weird. It's a psychological game. Obviously, there's not much confidence in the team right now, but they've not played in a long time, and they'll be very hungry to go into this one with all the fans there singing. But it's going to take a big effort because they've struggled all year going forward, and they've not been too bad at the back. They just make mistakes very easily, like we saw in the other Bath game. If I had to make a prediction, I'm not sure how much I'd back Met, but you know what?
Dangerous.
Screw it. No, I'm going to say we're going to win. and then that game will help us win overall at varsity. That's my prediction.
I like that. That's exactly what Jack Neal was hoping for. He mentioned that in his interview, hoping that this game is the game that takes Cardiff Met over the top and wins them that varsity day. Join us on the field, on the pitch in Bath that night. 5:30 p.m. is the kickoff time. That's the last event of the day, hopefully the deciding one as well. So Ben and I will jump out of the studio here for a moment. Nesta and Charlotte, welcome back in. Take us through the netball preview for tomorrow.
So Nesta, you are our netball correspondent. You've been working loads with the netball team. So I've kind of heard that the netball team picked their squad for varsity in quite a different way to the clubs, and they've really put a lot of effort into it. How do they do it?
Yeah, so when it comes to netball, they have an open trial. So anyone from the club can actually come and retrial for varsity. So they don't take anything previously into account. So doesn't matter what Bucks team you got onto, it doesn't matter how well you've played previously, it all goes into a new trial, open trial, and I think it's a great way for them as a club to show, to allow those who have progressed throughout the year, those who potentially didn't do very well in Bucks trials, show how well they can play and maybe get a spot on varsity as well. And I think it's just a lot more competition. It makes the girls really want to be there, want to play and want to be in the team. And I actually managed to speak to a couple of the players and Kira, their coach, after the trials to get their opinions on why they think open trial is a very good idea. So I've got a couple of clips of their interviews for you to have a listen to.
So it's important for us to do an open trial because there's so many players that will develop throughout the season with us. So it might be someone who's selected in the third team, the second team, but actually they've developed really well over the season. So it's their chance to kind of shoot their shot, and a lot of players have actually had that pay off in the last couple of years. So it does give maybe a little rocket to our first teamers that there are people coming behind you and there are people chasing you for your position, and it's just healthy competition, and I think that's what netball is all about.
I think it's really important that we trial. I think that a lot of girls have improved since the start of the season. Obviously we're training day in, day out pretty much, and so the standard as a club has increased. So I do think it's important because I think it's fair that everybody gets an opportunity to trial for varsity.
I think it's a really good opportunity for everybody to have an equal chance. No one's prioritised, and I think it gives a good flow through the club.
It gives so many of the girls a much more, coaches' wide perspective as well, and just opportunity for all groups throughout the teams to actually be able to step up and give them a chance throughout the end of the season. Obviously everyone's allocated and set their teams at the start of the season, which is really lovely, but when it comes to this, it's just merging everyone together, and actually you kind of find you have so many more underdogs, people who've been performing really, really well and consistently in their teams throughout the season, but just genuinely absolutely shining when it comes to varsity.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I like that they give everyone sort of a fresh start. So obviously, yeah, you've been following them. How's their training been going? What have they been doing to prepare?
They've had quite a few weeks of training and they've looked really strong throughout. They have managed to have quite a few games to get them warmed up as well against different universities, different competitions. So they've been played Swansea varsity's team, Cardiff's varsity team. They even managed to get a game against the Celtic Dragons under 21s Super League netball team. So that was really good for them, and I think it gave them a good understanding of how they were as a team and how they were moulding together. And actually they played really well. The only one they lost was against the Celtic Dragons, which was to be expected because half their team actually is on the other team, so they were playing in the Celtic Dragons team. So they were missing quite a few players for that one, and quite a few key players as well, but they still came away with a really good result there. But they're looking really strong and really strong together as a team, which I think is really good. And they've never won a varsity netball game, but I think they really are gunning for it this year because they've been so close to Bath in the Bucks. The first team have them in the same league for Bucks, and they've been so close to beating them this year, only by a couple of goals. So I think they are really gunning for them for this game, just to prove we are just as good as you, if not better.
Yeah, and so you also are from near Bath, so you know their setup really well. Can you explain to us what the Bath team is like, their setup, how they're so closely linked with the league team?
Yeah, so Bath is a very, very strong uni for netball. They always have been. They're linked to the Team Bath Super League team. So they have a programme in place which goes all the way through the uni to select good talent. And they always do well in Bucks, always really do well. But having said that, I don't think they do open trials. They do just pick. And then there are some players that do play in their Bucks team, which they wouldn't dare play in their varsity team just in case of injury if they're playing for the Super League team. So that's quite good for Cardiff Met to know. But again, they're still a very, very strong team. They're one of the best. So it's going to be a tough game.
Okay, and so finally, how do you think the game is going to go then?
I've got faith in the Met girls. They won it this year, and it's very obvious that they're going out there, going for the win. I think they'll be devastated if they don't, but they're just so close every time. And I think I know it's away, but the rest of the girls in the netball teams have actually been told that they have to go and watch this game. So hopefully with the crowd, with the training they've had, with Kira, their coach, Kira actually has played in varsity. She was, a couple of years ago, was one of the players, so she knows how they feel, which I think will help them really well as well. But I think I've got faith in the girls that Cardiff Met's gonna win this one.
Yeah, from what I've seen, I think they can do it. So let's hand back to Atticus and talk to us a little bit about basketball.
Welcome back into the studio. Thank you both. We're excited for the netball tomorrow. Similar to basketball, I'd say. Obviously, a little different, but that's all right. So we're excited for all these games tomorrow. Ahead of these matches, this is the best part of our show today. We were able to talk to Amber Dean earlier, one of the star players from the WNBL squad, playing tomorrow for Cardiff Met's varsity team, playing on the Bucks team as well. Just a dominant player and incredible athlete, but even more, just an incredible person to talk to. Take a look, listen to her interview here. She talks about not only this game tomorrow, but what she's going to do in the future. Just an incredible listen, and take a look. Here's Amber Dean. Well, I'm joined now by Amber Dean. Amber, thank you for taking the time to join us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Now, we have to start with something that might be a little painful from the weekend. I can already see she's grimacing. She knows what we're talking about. Over the weekend, you guys lost 59-61 against the Thames Valley Cavaliers in the WNBL playoffs. But I want to go back to some parts of that game because you watched the last minute of that game, and I got to be honest, that's not easy, and it looks a little strange in certain areas. So first of all, you guys are down by 1 point, 58-57. There's a minute left to go. You're bringing the ball up the court, and you've shot. I think you'd missed one shot that whole game up to that point. Two shots. So going into that second to last play there, what were you looking to do? Were you looking to take that shot to get you guys back in the lead, or what were you looking to do there?
I think we were just looking to get a look at a little bit closer to the hoop. We noticed that we were a little bit better, more successful, getting closer to the basket. We didn't specifically say that it was going to be me taking the shot. It could have been anyone. Izzy Bunyan's great. Karis Roy's great. Denise Monar. I would not turn down the shot if I had a chance to.
Fair.
But, yeah, we were just looking to get a layup, maybe get a foul, something closer to the basket.
Okay. Now, obviously, that possession is the one where things turned south. You handed the ball off. Karis Roy got the ball, looked back to you, and then the ball was stolen away there. On the opposite end, though, as you ran back, you fouled the Cavalier player driving forward, Catherine Goldsby. Now, the stats line isn't very clear about this. Did you foul out there, or were you given 2 unsportsmanlike fouls?
No, I wasn't given 2 unsportsmanlikes. I did have a look at the box score, and I saw that I only had 4 fouls, but the table showed 5. During the game, so that was my 5th foul. Essentially on the play, fatigue set in, and I probably didn't make the smartest decision knowing that I was on 4 fouls, but I thought I could time the block. I thought I could, time it up to get a block, save 2 points, get the ball back, but she made a great play. She had been making great plays all day and caught the foul, but yeah, it was my 5th. From the table, but from the box score, it does say that I have 4, which is strange.
We tried rewatching it. I think it was 4, to be honest,
wow.
But either way, I mean, obviously it didn't end the way you'd hoped for, and the block, of course, about an inch away. It was not far. But that foul given up, and then going into the last part of the game, obviously you were on the bench. I'd love to know what you were thinking during this last play. So Cardiff Met scores, of course. You guys tie the game again. There's 4 seconds left. Cavaliers drive inside, and then there's a pretty soft foul on the baseline. Give up 2 free throws, end of the game. They hit those, it's over. But coming into that last 4 seconds, did you think that last play was a foul? What happened there defensively to give up that last shot?
It's a tough one. It's a part of basketball. I mean, I've seen it as a fan. I've watched plenty of games where the referee decides the final second. You don't want to see that, but I I don't know if it's a foul. It's to a referee's discretion. But credit to Goldsby knocking down the 2 free throws. But I don't know. That's a tough call to go out on and let the ref decide the game. It's frustrating as a player. Of course, if I was on the other team or other end of it, I would have wanted the foul and wanted it to go my way. But it just didn't go our way in that last call. So that's basketball, though. It happens, unfortunately.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that's probably the most diplomatic answer you'll ever hear for something that's a pretty weak foul, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I'm sure if I was a fan, it would have been different. Yeah.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Now, one thing I did want to ask about, too, is going into that game, you guys had just beaten the Cavaliers the week before, but more importantly, you guys have been on a 6-game winning streak. The end of the WNBL season had been really impressive by all counts. There was a loss to Southern Pride back early in February, but then 6 straight wins since then. You guys were on a complete roll. I think you'd know this, too, from going back to your Dayton and Indiana days. Playing college basketball, everyone just develops on the court so much. There's really just always developing. The game is never complete for each of these players. How did you see that change this season for the Cardiff Met squad? It looked like there was a lot of development going on out there, and the team really progressed from the middle of the season to the end. What did you see on the court?
Yeah, that's spot on. I think the younger players definitely stepped up. They clearly improved during the off season, and the likes of Izzy Bunyan and Karis Roy being able to play WBBL helps them so much. Denise Monar got some WBBL experience as well, but the best improvement you'll see is just going through games and just having games under your belt and learning, especially during adversity. Like you mentioned, we had dropped a game to Cola Pride, who's the best team in our conference, but we dropped it pretty significantly to them. And that's probably the game where we learned the most, as well as dropping a game to Ipswich, where they just went zone on us the whole time. It was those 2 games that we actually improved the most afterwards. It's kind of those obstacles and those things that exploit some of your weaknesses, that's where you grow the most. And you kind of have to just go through kind of those tough losses to actually get better. So, we definitely improved throughout the season. I think we started to peak at the right time. I still think we didn't have that game where we played maybe our best. I don't think. We were getting there, though, definitely.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So you wouldn't say there was one game out there where you guys played your 100% best basketball. You're still looking for it.
I think we were getting pretty close. Yeah, I think we were getting there. And I think you saw glimpses of it more so toward the end of the season than the beginning. So, yeah.
Now, as a psychology major, I'd be curious on your opinion on that because obviously the team progressed, the team changed and improved throughout the season. But do you think with those 2 losses specifically to Cola and Ipswich, the changes that Cardiff Met you guys were able to make after, were those mental changes or were those just changes of, I've seen these great teams play, now I know how to change my game in front of me, or was it a mental thing that happened, do you think?
I think that's a really good question. Probably a bit of both. Definitely the mental side to just have some grit and tenacity to respond after getting hit in the face with confidence is important. It's valuable, but also we started to try to make better plays on both ends. We tried to be a little bit more savvy on offense and work the clock, work the ball around, kind of those IQ things. And that was probably a bit bigger than the mental side of things for us, but by moving the ball around, getting better looks, it increased our confidence and our self-esteem as a team for sure.
Fair enough. Now, going into the next season, of course, you've now played 3 years here of WNBL basketball, Cardiff Met. Obviously, the first season, promotion. Second season, first one in the Division I, WNBL, obviously a bit tougher. But this one, obviously, the best season the Archers have had in this division so far. First of all, for you personally, let's go to you first, then we'll talk about the team after. Where next for you? Are you going to be playing here next year? What comes next for you in your life, Amber?
I think that's a conversation that I am still having with myself. I think I need to. I'll probably have to. I have actually in the last couple of days reflected on everything, and I need to sit down with some of those key people like Sarah Wagstaff and my teammates and just see where I am and make sure I'm 100% committed. I love playing, and I'd obviously love to keep playing and things of that nature, but I need to be practical in a sense that making sure I'm making the right decision for myself and my family. So I'm still deciding, still up in the air, so we'll see.
Now, if there's anything I've learned about you, it's that you have a ton of options open to you. I know you have a wide amount of degrees. How many degrees do you have, actually, so the audience knows?
I got 1 undergrad in English. I got 1 master's in journalism. And I've got a master's in sports psychology, and I'm currently pursuing my PhD in sports psychology.
So, in other words, you're not ever going to find a smarter student than you. You may not say that, of course, but I hear that from everybody who I talk to in the basketball program. you've got a ton of options open to you, of course.
Side of things, just helping athletes and coaches as well, just facilitate some of those psychological aspects like confidence, like we talked about, anxiety, goal setting, things like that, having a growth mindset. I would love to work in that area, definitely.
Now, is there any specific spot you'd like to go in the future? Any specific place you'd like to work? I know I asked that because you've been all around the world, of course, playing for not only Dayton, but in Indiana and then coming out here to Cardiff. Is there a certain spot you'd like to go next, or are you open to going anywhere else that's new?
I'm pretty open. Yeah, I love traveling. I love seeing new places, meeting new people, but the end goal would be to actually start my own private practice.
Really?
I'm not sure where. Yeah, I would love to. It just sounds awesome to me and kind of, I don't know, making my own rules and doing kind of my own thing my way sounds great, but still obviously helping people in the end. So that's the end goal. So we'll see.
The minute your company opens up on the stock exchange, you can send out a call, and I guarantee I'll be investing in that.
Cool,
I couldn't
thank
pick a
you.
better person to invest to. I can tell you that right now. Now, one other thing is what I'd like to talk about. You played college basketball in the United States. You've played college basketball of the sense here in the UK as well, not just in the WNBL, but in the Bucks leagues and things like that. I'm curious on your opinion on this because South Carolina just won another national championship under head coach Dawn Staley. She's only the first ever black person to ever win 2 national championships in the United States. What kind of impact does that have for you, seeing people who are able to do things like that? Just what kind of new ground does something like that break in the entire world of sports, not just college basketball?
Yeah, credit to Dawn Staley. I mean, it's clearly incredible what she's doing. She's just got a knack for it. She was a heck of a player, too, though. I mean, she's just a winner. Anything she touches, she just wins. She turned that program around. Fun fact, she actually recruited me to come to South Carolina when I was a junior. Yeah, this was when she first started coaching at South Carolina. Wow. And her and I had a great conversation, and she told me that she'd help me develop and she wanted to help me become a better basketball player, become a sound point guard. And we talked for about a good hour. I think she talked to my father as well. She's awesome. She's down to earth. She's humble, but super fiery and competitive. And I was just scared, kind of timid, 17-year-old. So I ended up not going too far away from home. But every time I see her now coaching, and she did exactly what she wanted to do, what she told me. She made it happen. And I hope that she inspires other people to follow their dreams, to know that they can have lofty dreams and actually pursue them. What she did was actually incredible. Quiet as kept, though. I actually was rooting for UConn.
Wow.
I was rooting
what
for
a
UConn.
twist.
Yeah, I know. I love basketball. I love high-quality basketball.
Sure.
But Gino's probably my favorite coach. I think he's just a smooth guy, and he's got some great players that came out of there, and I like his style of basketball. If I had to compare it to what Dawn Staley kind of her approach, she likes to get the ball inside. Obviously, they've got National Player of the Year who in their post player averaging a double-double. So why wouldn't you get the ball inside to her? But I'm a guard, and I like to play up and down and shoot threes and layups. So Gino kind of has a different approach, but. Credit to Dawn Staley. I mean, she's incredible. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Well, first of all, that's an incredible story, one I had no idea about. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
But you did say something in there I'm curious about. You mentioned the inspiration for these people, inspiration that Dawn Staley and people like that are being all around the world. I'm curious for you. Obviously, you're incredibly successful in everything you've decided to do. What sort of inspiration do you draw from the world around you? Either where or who are you getting that inspiration from?
That's an incredible question. Everyone. I just try to learn. Anyone who knows me knows I'm always analyzing stuff and kind of trying to approach things critically. I try to draw inspiration from everyone and everything I see. I think everyone and everything has something to offer, and I love learning. I've always loved learning. Clearly, you mentioned
that's
17
obvious.
degrees. I try to learn, as cheesy as that sounds. I try to treat everything as a learning opportunity. But if I had to point to something specific, I'd probably point to my mom and dad. They inspire me to do as well as I can, and they've taught me to make sure I'm filling up my cup and taking care of myself so that I can uplift others, not just for me. It's equip myself with knowledge and abilities and skills so that I can give those gifts to other people. So I've always tried to keep that in the back of my mind.
I know this is not an interview about a job advertisement, of course, but again, in the future, when you open up your first consulting clinicy or whatever you decide to do, I think this interview it makes it really obvious just what the kind of things you like to do and the kind of person you are. I think you're going to be successful whatever you do.
Thanks.
Even though
that.
obviously already, but yeah, no, that's definitely true. Now, a couple other things too, though, about this season before the season's actually over for you. I know you're going to the Rebound All-Star game on May 7th, correct?
Yep. Yeah.
Have you ever been before?
No, I think this is their first one. So yeah, super excited. Yeah, should be fun.
Have you ever played in an All-Star game before?
In high school, I did a long time ago. Senior year, 2012. I had a teammate though named Ariel Powers. She's in the WNBA now, so it was her game. just probably had like 15, 20 assists to her that game. But that was a while ago. But I'm looking forward to this one, definitely. Yeah.
Now I know at the All-Star game you're there, and I think your teammate Issy Bunyan is there as well. Is it a bit of a point of pride for you to beat her team? You can be honest. I'm curious.
I've been talking some crap with her.
Good.
Yeah, but I always do. I always talk crap with her. She talks it back to me. So yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I'm excited to see who wins that one, of course. But before we even get there, I know tomorrow we've got the varsity game at Bath. Are you playing in that?
I'll be playing, yeah.
How many points are you going to drop?
Oh, man. Depends. I mean, I got Lauren Psyche. I've been playing with her. You've seen it. I mean, I haven't played with her in a while. I pretty much told her anytime she's not looking at me, that's when I expect the ball. That's when I know. That's when I know I'm going to get a pass. So, but you also have obviously Shannon and the entire squad can just fill it up. So we're just going to try to put some points on the board and have some fun.
That's putting it modestly. For those who don't know, you averaged about 20 points per game in the WNBL this season. It's not insignificant. Most teams score 60, 70 a game, so you're scoring a third of your team's points. And then obviously in the Bucks League, rough estimate, 30 a game, something like that.
I don't know.
They don't keep stats in that league, but I'm telling you, from the games I've seen, it's roughly that.
You're good luck, definitely. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Obviously, tomorrow's going to be a big game. Could be your last in a Cardiff Met jersey, potentially. Obviously, I don't mean to push any answer on you, so we'll see. But last of the season, of course. So we're excited to see how you do in that. Awesome. Well, Amber, thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow. Good luck in the All-Star game coming up as well. We're excited to see you play.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for joining us back in the studio here. Now, as we go into tomorrow, obviously you can see Aberdeen in action tomorrow. 2:15 p.m. is the tip-off time for the women's game against Bath. Basketball as well as other fixtures right around that. 12:30 is the opening tip for the wheelchair game. And then, of course, 2:15 for the women's, 4 o'clock for the men's. We should be looking for, we're looking forward to a women's win tomorrow in the basketball game. The women went 7-3 in their Bucks season. That's the same squad they'll bring to the varsity game tomorrow. Obviously, if this is Aberdeen's last in a Cardiff Met jersey, I'm hoping to see 40 points or more. We'll see. Let's hope so. Now, back here in the studio, everyone, I want to know everyone's predictions ahead of the varsity games tomorrow. Can Cardiff Met finally pull out their first ever varsity victory? Ben, I'm looking at you first.
Yes, they can. Yeah. It's been a crazy year for Cardiff Met Sport, really, coming back after COVID. And some teams have been flourishing, some haven't been. But I just think first varsity in 2 years, it's going to go big. It's a shame it's in Bath, honestly, but I do think this can be the first varsity win for Cardiff Met.
A shame it's in Bath. Why do you say that?
Well, obviously, it's going to be difficult for our fans to get up there. They have to make the trek, and they're also going to outnumber us. And, it's just the general feel of it, isn't it, for Cardiff Met up there? But it's going to be hard for some teams, I think, to cope. But, surely we got it.
I thought he was implying something about the city itself.
No, Bath's a lovely city, but... going away is going to be hard. But they want it. Cardiff Met want it. They definitely do. And I can tell that by talking to the teams that I've been with. They want it this year. So I don't see why they can't win.
Interesting you mentioned that, because Charlotte, the same thing's been expressed to us throughout the day today. Everyone we've talked to, everybody's treating this like it's a really big deal. And I'm amazed by that, because on the first glance, Varsity Day is just, it's friendlies. These don't matter for promotion or relegation.
Friendly. This ain't friendly.
It's interesting to hear. I had no idea this was the case. Charlotte, have you seen the same thing, that kind of energy around campus?
Oh, definitely. I think it's been so hyped up for weeks and weeks and weeks. And especially now as lots of Buck seasons come to an end, it's a good thing to look forward to. It's a shame the sun probably isn't going to be shining, because I think if it was on a sunny day, I think the vibes would be so good. But I think Cardiff Met need to come out and prove that they are the best, and I think they can. I think a lot of the games we have a fair chance of winning. So, yeah, just everyone's so excited. Yeah, it's going to be great, I think.
Well, follow us on Cardiff Met Sport TV, Twitter, and YouTube so you can get the latest updates on all the matches tomorrow. We've got plenty to go through. We'll take you one more time through the schedule, the best games we're looking at tomorrow. Starting things off again at 12:30, wheelchair basketball for both the men and women as part of that. There are plenty of other fixtures as well, though. Obviously, ending the day, football at 5:30 p.m. What other fixtures should everyone go to and check out in the meantime, though, guys?
I think rugby will be a good one, an interesting one to go down to as well. Slightly different team, but they've got some big players in there, so I think it'll be a good game to watch.
Definitely more now that when Cardiff Met were obviously knocked out Bucks Super Rugby, I think this game is now going to probably be a lot more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
They'll want to win.
That rugby game is at 2:15 p.m. on the Rugby 1 field. That's the men's rugby. Women's rugby, opening kickoff is at 4 p.m. Ben, where else would you go on the day?
Well, there's a few interesting sports I've not watched before. That's I would be interested in seeing. The water polo, both men's and women's. It's an interesting one. I've not even seen it on this campus. So
I think it'll be quite exciting to watch. I think it's a lot of like red cards and
yeah, quite aggressive.
I think it is quite aggressive. Yeah.
Aggressive water football. Hard to say no to that, I think. Well, there's plenty of events to go on tomorrow. Keep in mind, every single event counts for the same amount of points all around. So everything is important for both universities. Whoever comes out on top will be the winner. Obviously, Cardiff Met with the banner ready. They are ready to go, ready for their first ever victory. So we hope. Nesta, final thoughts from you ahead of the games tomorrow.
Cardiff Met is going to win all the way.
Simple.
That's my final thought.
Simple.
Well, we are on Cardiff Met Sport TV Radio, so that seems to be the general consensus here. Now, actually, during the last interview with Amardine, we were able to jump outside and ask a few people about the upcoming mascot race. Again, we are the only radio show here that's going to talk about this. This is the most important event of the day, don't you forget. So, we've got some live reactions from Cardiff Met students. Who's going to win between Archie the Dragon and Banyamala the Duck? Let's hear some interesting takes from these guys. So we're here live. We're here in the Cardiff Met. What is this place? This is the extension to the lunchroom, I'm guessing. We've got 6 Cardiff Met students here. We're looking to see who's going to win the first ever mascot race between Archie the Dragon and Banyamala the Duck. So, give me your name, who's going to win, and why.
Joe, I think the Dragon will win because since I'm from Wales, I'm biased and so go Cardiff Met. So I think the Dragon will win.
So we've got 1-0 to Cardiff Met right now.
I'm Callum Glue. I think the duck will win because I've only ever seen a duck run. I've never seen a dragon run.
That's a good reason. 1-1. Okay.
I'm Nat Parry and I think the Dragon because I'm loyal to Cardiff Met.
I love that reasoning. 2-1.
Hi, I'm Livy and I think the Dragon will win because I'm also from Wales.
3-1. I like that.
Hi, I'm Anna. I think the Dragon will win because dragons can fly.
That's a great reason. Okay, 4-1. Okay, last one.
I'm Reese Perry. I think the Dragon will win because Cal Dragon will turn up and he'll slide tackle a duck.
I love that reasoning. All right. Thank you, guys. So we see 5-1 votes here for Cardiff Met to win. Archie the Dragon over Banyamala. Now, what do we do if Archie loses? Kill the duck. For those who didn't hear, kill the duck is what I heard. That's a perfect reasoning. Thank you, guys. Good luck to Cardiff Met tomorrow. There will be no harming of ducks tomorrow. I can promise you that. But the Dragon may win. Our expert panel here doesn't seem to think so, but the students around the campus, they do agree with me. Archie the Dragon, ready to come out on top. Everyone, thank you for joining me today. I know we're all ready for the varsity game tomorrow. Thank you and good luck as we get ready for this game.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, we're all excited for this event, of course. Join us tomorrow, starting from noon up until about 7:30 p.m. for the varsity day, Cardiff Metropolitan University against Bath University. Thank you for joining us. For Nesta Unwin, Charlotte Carver, Ben Cosgrove, I've been Atticus Peed. Thank you again. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining us on Cardiff Met Sport TV Radio.